We'll watch it afterwards. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Just, you want to read that off?
Hi, everyone. We're just waiting for everyone to join and then we'll get started. All right, thanks everyone for joining today. So happy that you're able to make the time and take an hour out of your day for this really important practice, self-care practice. My name is, as many of you know, is Jen Hansen. I work at Pain BC, and today it is my honor to introduce Sue Schellinck. So Sue is an occupational therapist who specializes in chronic pain. She works in Nanaimo and has for many years. Sue is a longtime collaborator and friend of Pain BC's, so we're just thrilled to have her today. I always learn so much from Sue, and I'm excited to be able to share her knowledge with you. So that is terrific. What can we say? Today's session is being recorded, as many of you will know, and we'll put it on our YouTube channel afterwards. You can share it with anyone you like. We're also live streaming on Facebook. We're going to launch a poll at the end. If you could take a couple minutes and let us know what you thought of today's session, that's really helpful. And at any point, if you need help, put your question in the chat or email education@painbc.ca. Tomorrow, we're back again with Neil Pearson, our physiotherapist and yoga therapist. And then next week, we have Neil and then Allison Ezet, who's also a physiotherapist practicing in chronic pain. You can go on our website, as many of you also know. There are lots of different resources there. We've got our pain support and wellness groups. Our meeting, the second group, is meeting next week, and those are online now. And as well, we have a webinar on the 27th around anxiety and pain during the COVID-19 pandemic. We hope you can join us for that. All right, I think I will end my session and hand it over to Sue.
Hey, hi everyone. It's nice to be here. I am so excited to be here. Jen, thank you for that lovely introduction. I love doing talks to people with pain because I learned so much. They've been some of my very best teachers. And the class we're doing today is hopefully a lot of fun. Right? We want to have a really nice time. We want to enjoy it. I think of it more as a sort of a moving meditation, a very relaxing way to find some joy in movement. And the intention that we have is really important. I'm less worried about you hitting the right range of motion. I'm less worried about building strength. Really just want to have a nice movement session for our nervous system. So enjoy every moment of this. It's a lot of Qigong movements. Now, I'm not a Qigong teacher, I have to say. These are some of their movements. I've modified them for people in pain because most of these movements are much more extreme. So I'm toning this down quite a lot actually. And that's hopefully going to be just fine for you. We do have a chair, and I will be doing a little bit of demonstrating on the chair if you want. But I've taught this particular set of movements to about 300 to 400 people, and most people can manage it. Of course, that means they've also managed to come into my clinic on that day, so it's probably a good day. Really just focus on the fun for today. Focus on enjoyment, focus on rest of your muscles and rest of your body while we're enjoying some lovely moving. Now, I want to first of all start with a little clip. So often when we do moving, pain stops us, or sore muscles stop us, or something physical will stop us. And I want to show you a little clip because I want us to kind of rethink how we move. So Ariel, if you could please show that, that'd be fantastic. So how many passes do they make? You got to count them. Did you get 13? Let's find that moon walking bear. There he or she is. They are. It is easy to miss something you're not looking for, and this is good for the nervous system, and it also excellent advice for cyclists, especially this time of year when people are cycling a bit more. Thanks, Ariel. Great, that's fantastic. All right. Sorry, just getting some stuff here. There we go. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. So why I showed you that is most people really do the counting. So I, with two other fantastic occupational therapists, I teach other OTs across Canada about chronic pain. And we use that video often because we really want to get that shift away from the physical pain that we have, which is very real and very true. It's there. However, if we can pay attention to the nervous system, right? If we can pay attention to what's happening with the nervous system, it often allows us to do a little bit more. So think of the counting of the throws as that physical reaction that your body's having, and think of the dancing bear as the nervous system. So what does that mean? What are we looking for besides the pain or the change in sensations that we might feel? Well, our breathing, and you've probably heard this time and time again. When we hold our breath, right, that means that there's either something we're worried about, we're concerned about, we're trying too hard. We want to have a nice, long, slow, smooth breath. We really want that gentle in and that gentle out. And ideally, your out breath is going to be a little bit longer than the in breath. So I encourage you to do a few breaths with me to get us sort of into that phase. So we'll breathe in. And when you're ready, breathe out. Now, I want you to do it at your own pace, so I'm not going to guide you anymore, but the in-breath is not as long as the out-breath. This is something we can't force. If you force your breath too quickly to a long breath, often we can get a bit dizzy, so we don't want that. If you're feeling a little bit lightheaded when you change your breathing, then just slow down your breathing a bit, go back to a normal rate, and ever so slowly lengthen out that breathing. All right, so the out breath is a little slower than the in breath. All right, that is fantastic. I highly encourage you to keep that breathing while we're gonna do a little bit more of the why, a little bit more of the education. Doing this program, I've seen a lot of commonalities with people. So people who have low back pain or sort of neck, arm, shoulder pain, there's certain things that I see and certain corrections that I wanna make. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring out my fantastic helper to come help. So this is Jasmine, and she's going to come help. You want to stand? Yeah, right about there is good. Perfect. If visual movement bothers you, just close your eyes for 2 seconds while I adjust where I am. Now, Pain BC has done a fantastic job of getting you ready. You don't need a mat for this. You don't need a chair unless you feel you need it for balance or you feel you need it for stabilization. Just realizing we orientated the screen for me and my daughter's significantly taller. So we're going to step back just a bit. All right, so this is Jasmine, and she has very kindly offered to help. So again, the movements that we're doing are Qigong. They're new movements for most everybody. If you've done some martial arts training, you might recognize some of them. What's so beautiful about this, if you enjoy every moment, and if you breathe and rest your muscles and do new movements, and that's the key here, different new movements, your nervous system will likely let you do this. So that's what we want: rest, muscles, we want nice breathing, and we want new movement. So while we're doing this, I want to show you some of the things that a lot of people do. So I'm going to get Jasmine to face me. Okay, we're good there. Okay, actually, if you can step back, the white is a little bit, no, you're good just right there. So we can see the white. You're not going to sit in the chair. Okay, so I'm going to get her to do a little knee bend, and I want Jasmine, if you can do it just the way that you normally would bend. So just a little bit of bend in the knees. Oh, okay. I didn't want that white background. Can you do it while you're there? Can you do just a little knee bend? So put your knees back there. Can you? Okay. What I want you to notice is I want you to notice this part of the spine here and what her buttocks are doing. So just a little bend, sweetie. I won't call you sweetie again. Sorry about that. And then what we're going to see is what we see most people in chronic pain doing. Now, what they do is when they do a bend, they actually tuck their bum under and they bend down. So if you can do it that way, the way that we talked about, so just, right, you see what happens there. Now that was an excellent exaggeration, but a lot of people will look at that. No, come back here. Right, so what happens is we want, just get your hands there, perfect. Here's her hip joint. We want her to bend right from this hip. So do the first one the way that you normally bend and the way we want. So you can see the bend is happening right here. When we do the one that most people with low back pain do, we see that this is the fulcrum that we want, the pivot point. What happens is, with people with low back pain, their buttock muscles get so tight and tense that they clench and they change the posture and they change how we bend. And this actually increases pain. So I'm gonna get you to do it this way. And this is, we notice right here where my hands are, this is where the pivot point is. So do it the way that most people with low back pain do it. Right, so we can see that this is where they tend to be bending, of course, which increases the stress on the muscles. And that's not what we want. So hopefully you saw that. Now I'm going to get Jasmine to do another thing that we see for people who have headaches, neck pain, arm or shoulder pain. So I'm going to ask Jasmine to just how she would normally raise her hands overhead out to the side. Right, so that's lovely and down. Now here's a question though, are you breathing? Were you breathing? Or did you hold your breath? You were holding your breath. So a lot of us do that. When we're asked to do something, we hold our breath, which is why I'm going to go on and on about the breathing again. You didn't know I was going to ask you that, did you? No. Right, and that happens so typically. Right, so now I've trained Jasmine to show you what people with upper body pain tend to look like when they're raising their arms. Okay? Good, the shoulders go up first. And why they do that is that's a splinting, that's a protective nature of the neck and the arms. So they splint that area and then they feel like they lift their arms. Unfortunately, we're using them different muscles than we want to use. So that's not something ideally that we're gonna want to do that, okay? So I'm gonna get one more time to show shoulders down and how we think of this, if you can turn around. All right, you can't really see here, but here's her scapula right here, right? We think of them, what happens when people raise their shoulders, the scapulas go up, right? So what we want is to think about your shoulder blades or your scapulas, just letting them feel heavy. If that feels good to you, let them drop. Think of pulling them down kind of to the middle of your back or pulling them down to your back pockets. If we can center those gently, right? So many people in chronic pain are very high achievers and they try very, very hard. They push through physically, cognitively, and emotionally. And we want to step back from that. That's a fantastic thing. I agree with being a high achiever. That's great, but we also need to learn to pull back from that a little bit. So when we pull this down, we don't want to force them down. They're just a very gentle pulling down of the scapulas. This will then anchor this part very well, and then the arms can go up. And these scapulas see here, so arms go up, right? And then these scapulas, they do go out a bit and that's fine, but they stay in this general location and make this place feel much more safe. Okay, so for those of you who do have, thank you, Jasmine. Everyone's clapping you for Jasmine, yay. Thank you. And she's gonna be my model. I'm gonna, she'll do the exercise as I suggest, and then I'll modify it, okay? So we're gonna modify, do not put your arms overhead. If you do not feel comfortable doing that, that is totally fine. I'll be modifying for that. Also, there is a little bit of bending, just a really sort of a shallow bend if you want. Again, this is not about doing what I'm doing. This is not about following me. This is about moving your body in different ways and feeling really good and gentle and kind and enjoying every moment of this. Okay, are you ready? Yes. Okay. I think we're going to change this around. I'm going to get you there. I was going to get you over here, but with the height thing, it looks like there's a bit more height for you. So I'm going to put a chair right here for me. If I choose to sit down, I'll be showing some of them. So we're going to start in just 1 second. There's about 15 or 16 moves that we're going to be doing. And if you feel like you're holding your breath, if you feel like when you're doing the movement, we're going to breathe with the movement. If you feel that you can't quite do that, I want you to either go to this very first movement, which is just quite simply bringing the arms up and then down. Okay, that's the very first movement. At any time, just go back to that. It's better to keep a really soft, gentle moving. That's better for your nervous system to feel like this is moving and is safe, as opposed to stopping. But sometimes that can be hard. Now, if doing this is going to be too difficult and you want to rest from that, you can also visualize. So when you visualize a move, it's actually quite good if you see us doing it and you're visualizing yourself doing it, your body actually thinks that you're doing it, but it's not getting any notice from your muscles and joints, etc., that it's happening. So it tends to allow your body to do that movement and create a path in your brain that allows that movement to happen. So visualization is fantastic if you feel like you can't kind of keep up with this. It's a very quick description of visualization, but hopefully that'll help a little bit. All right, 1 second. I'm getting a bit warm. So I'm going to just take this off and wrap it up. You can do this. I've done this in skirts, in heels. I've been at work and forgot I was teaching it. And so it's been, it's whatever you're sort of comfortable in. I'm going to get you to scooch over. All right, actually, and then turn around, because I need your foot. Okay. A couple of things about posture I want to talk about. A lot of people who have low back pain, or if they have pain on one side of the body, either arm or leg, they tend to lean away from the pain. And what happens with that is that the brain's idea of where your center of gravity and the actual center of gravity is different. And that makes us feel a bit unstable. You might notice you're holding onto railings when you're walking upstairs, or that you're starting to get headaches that start back here because you're using your eyes so much to watch where you're walking. So another great thing about this Qigong is that it sort of helps to correct for that. And that is going to be some of the shifting stuff that happens. One other way to feel safe, if you don't quite feel safe standing. So if you turn a bit this way and give me your right foot. When we stand, actually turn your right foot towards the camera. When we stand, we actually stand, can I take your sock off? This is the benefit of having your children help you. When we stand, right, we stand actually on a tripod. So right below the big toe, you know what, we're gonna go, come back a bit, come back this way, love. You need to see your foot. Come back closer, come a little bit more. All right, there we go. All right, so here's her beautiful foot. Below her big toe, I can say that because I made it. One of the tripods is kind of right there. Another one's below the pinky, and another one's in front of the heel. All right, so there you go, love. Oh, I turned it inside out, sorry, love. So what we want to do is when we're standing, I just want you to stand now, if you're going to stand, and I want you to have your weight evenly on both feet. What you might find is you actually push over to one side. So we want to correct that a little bit and have your feet nice and even. Then you want to pay attention to those tripod points and think, is your weight too far forward or are we too far back? A lot of people with low back pain and neck pain tend to have more weight on their toes. So try and have it more equal. Don't try and correct it perfectly now. It might throw you off a little bit. All right. Great. Okay, so let's go back to our breathing. Take a few seconds to do that nice breathing in and the exhale a little bit longer. Okay, we are in standing or we're in sitting. Okay, but try and rest the muscles as much as you can. The beautiful thing about this is we're mostly using very few muscles to do these movements. So we really want to bring a sense of rest to those muscles. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little body scan. It's called passive muscle relaxation. I learned it as a 9-year-old athlete and I've done it my whole life. It works really well for me. It's only one, lots of them work. So we'll get you standing. Do you want to sit on the chair for this one?
Sure.
Okay, because you can sit on your chair. If you are, try to make sure you have equal weight on both of your sit bones. And then just lean. Oh yeah, you're sitting up nice and tall. Perfect. Must be the daughter of an OT. Good. All right. So I'm actually going to start with the head because I've been doing this as a way to fall asleep since I was a little kid. And if I start at my feet, I start working out my way up my body if I'm teaching it, and I start to forget where I am because my brain starts to turn off. So you can start at your head. I prefer my toes, but we're going to start here today so I stay awake for this. All right. Just want you on your next exhale to bring your mind's attention to your face. Your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks, and your mouth. And just let those muscles rest. Just let them be. On your next exhale, bring your mind's attention to your neck and your shoulders. And let them rest. They've already worked hard for you today. Next time you exhale, bring your mind's attention to your biceps, your elbows, forearms, and hands. And just let them rest. We're not trying to get into a full restful mode. That would take a long time. We're just scanning the body, letting the muscles rest. If you find that they tense up again, that is okay. It'll happen. Just bring your mind's attention to that and let it rest. Bring your attention to your chest and your abdomen. And let those muscles rest. Bring your mind's attention to your upper back, middle, and lower back, your buttocks, and let them rest. Even in standing, our buttocks should be somewhat relaxed. Bring your mind's attention to your upper legs, knees, calves, and feet, and let them rest. Bring your mind's attention back to your breathing. Those lovely exhales. Good. Now our muscles should feel like this, in a nice rested state throughout this whole exercise. So if your breathing changes, if you're finding you're moving faster than I am, if your muscles get tight and tense, even if you have thoughts and worries, your mind gets busy, you have a negative thought, that's also the nervous system ramping up a little bit. If you have fear about doing a movement, breathe through it. You can visualize or go back to the first movement that we're about to do. Okay? Great. Let's have fun with this. All right. You will look silly. We will look silly. That's okay. We'll get you over here now. All right. So I'm going to start sitting in the chair, but I will be going up and down. Just take us just a step. You're good there? Okay. All right. All right. So breathing in and out. We're going to coordinate our movements with our breathing. If my breathing is too slow for you, you can do the movements to your breathing. Exhale. Next hits. Inhale, lift your arms up and down. Each movement is done 6 times. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Notice that we're always moving, right? There's no stopping of the breath or of the motion. Breathing in and out. Okay, we're going to change it. We're going to breathe in and arms out. Breathe in Breathe out. Okay, I'm going to do one more. And then I'm going to do some instructions. So follow Jasmine after this. Breathe out. Good. Now, if you can do one whole breath in, that's really long. If you can do it, that's fine. I felt that was my muscles are tensing. So right now, doing public speaking, not really ready for that. The thing I want to mention is where you put your feet. So you notice Jasmine's feet are very, very close together. That's a nice challenge for balance if you want it. You can also have your feet a bit further apart, right? Even sitting in a chair, if your feet are a bit further apart, it gives you a bit more stability. Most of us kind of figure this out. So yeah, if you want to have your feet, I think, was that 6? You might have to count for me though. Awesome. Right. So if you want your feet a little bit further apart for balance, that is totally fine. Some exercises might be fine. Some you might want to change them. All right. The next one, we're going to change it up a bit. We're going to do some tilting of the torso. Okay. So we're going to raise the arms up. Again, scapulas down. Breathe in to here. Now let that feel comfortable and rested. We're going to tilt this way and come back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. So keep going, following Jasmine. Notice that when she does breathe in, she brings her hips over this way and out. Good. And then she shifts her hips that way a little bit. Good. That can help for balance. Okay. Pull your belly button in a little bit if you feel like you're needing a little bit of that. Right? Breathe in. And these arms can be lower, right? We just want a little bit of torso. And do a slight movement. It's hard to hold your arms out for this long, so do feel like you can bring them down and up if you want, if that's a bit helpful. All right. Okay. I have to be better at keeping track. I'm not sure if that's 12, but I think that's probably enough for that one. This is a really, really nice one. You might want to have your feet a little bit further apart. Again, have a nice gentle bend in the knees. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our palms in together. So you can see my palms are facing me. And what Jasmine's going to do is she's going to bring our arms all the way up, palms still facing. Now this is a beautiful, we put our hands to the ceiling and open our arms up wide, and then we bring it down. It's a really nice stretch for the shoulder if you're able to do that. So let's do one of that, Jasmine. Okay, bring palms together, facing us to the ceiling, elbows out, and we exhale down. Now, this is not great for people who have the shoulder or neck pain, or some people just on a certain day. So if we breathe in, you go all the way up, thank you, and then we breathe out. Okay, we breathe in. Now the thing with over the head stuff, if you're trying not to go over the head, if you keep your elbows below the shoulders, that's generally going to work for most people who have shoulder, neck, or headaches. Good. Breathe. Enjoy. Good. One more. All right. This next one is a really nice twist for the torso. So for this part, we want to be nice and tall, kind of feel like we're being pulled up nice and tall. Ribs are maybe pulled up from the pelvic girdle. Try and separate a bit in here, but not to worry too much. If you're sitting, what you can do is you can bring one hand back to your hip and turn a bit. Okay, and again this way. What Jasmine's going to do in standing is she's going to have her hands here and out, and then exhale, and then out. Notice my hips are turning, that's okay, knees are bent, and that's okay too, okay? So let's start this one, so breathe in, Good. Breathe out. Breathing in. That feels so nice on the torso. I'm going to sit down and do the other version. Breathing in. Good. And out. And make this work for you. If you want to have one arm go up, that's good. Good. If you want to just pull one arm back and have a slight turn, that's fine too. Okay, little slight turn. Good. Really good. This should be effortless. Should be enjoyable. One of us remembers needs to count. I'm enjoying this too much. Good. All right. Now this movement of turning of your torso, if you have low back pain, that's going to make you a bit concerned, then we just don't. We just pull the arm back a little bit. And this is the last one. Good. Now, if you can raise your arms overhead, this next one is beautiful. The arms are going to go out. They're going to back a little bit if you can, but if you can't, that is totally fine. Up. And as we exhale, nice, relaxed, gentle arms. The challenge is to feel your arms fully rested, okay? So that's what Jasmine will do. And when she bends, when the hands come down, you can do a little bit of a knee bend if you want. Okay, so let's do this one, breathing in. And breathing out. Oh, that feels so nice. Okay, I'm gonna go not overhead, breathing in. And breathing out. So nice. Breathing in. Nice soft elbows. Breathing out. Breathing in. Good. Do 2 more. I don't usually do 6, although that's how I teach it. I just kind of do what feels nice. I listen to my body a little bit as to what I need. So you can do the same. If 3 works for you and you can alternate, you can do the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. That's good too. All right, this is really nice, and this is so good for the nervous system. I love this one. A lot of people in pain, we stay shifted in one spot and we turn like this, and then we sort of turn this way. This is really nice to get some cross-body movement, and the research tells us it is so good for our nervous system. Really gently, again, if you're sitting in a chair, you might want to have your feet a little bit further apart, okay? And what we're gonna do, I'll demonstrate in standing, is we're just going to shift to one side and we're gonna cross an arm, okay? And then we're gonna shift the other side and we're gonna cross an arm that way. Okay, you can add a bit of a bend if you want to. Again, if we're bending, make sure that we're not tucking our bum when we bend. We've got that bum nicely out, okay, while we're doing this. In sitting, it's the same kind of thing. We're going to shift over. And again, if you have armrests and want to use them, that's fine. If you want to have your hands on your knee, that's also fine. Every day, this is going to be different for you, okay? So let's work with this one. Breathing in and out. And in, and out, and in, and out. See the soft hands. Just I think you just shift a little bit more on your weight. So shift a bit more. That's right, yeah. Then bend your knees and shift a bit more that way. Yeah, that's it. A nice reach if you can. Again, if you can't, that's fine. Last one. Good. Good. All right. Now we're going to add both arms. We are going to do a bit of a twist if you like. So when standing, we're going to breathe in. I like to breathe in here, and as I twist, again, body nice and tall, I twist out. Your heads are being cut off, which is actually fine in my case, but let's pull you back a bit when I sit down. And then we breathe in, and we breathe out. Knees are bent, whole body turns, okay? So you want your feet sort of shoulder width, maybe even a little bit more since we're doing some twisting, and always bending with the knees. Allow the heel to come up if you need to on that foot, okay, as we do this one. Right, again, I'll do it in sitting. And again, if we can get some shifting even in sitting, that's going to be really good working on our core. So breathing in and out. In and out. In and out. Good. This time, Jazz, I want you to lift up your right heel and do a really big twist all the way back. That's it. Good, good. Breathing in. Good. So shifting the weight and really twisting. Oh, that feels good. If you can, again, if this visually, if you are not enjoying the sight of us turning so much visually, you can just, again, close your eyes. We'll keep going. Right, and then just do some arms side to side, because this too is absolutely fine. This cross-body movement is fantastic. Okay, and then we're going to do one arm. Just one arm this time. That's it. Good. Even on the right arm. Well done, you. Yeah. Okay to lift your feet. Okay to lift your hip, move your hips. Everything's okay. You're moving. That's perfect. That's fantastic. Enjoy this. I used to teach this to my kids and to my son actually, and told him it was a ninja warm-up because he loved ninjas. And if you've done martial arts, you might recognize some of these moves. Good. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. We're going to actually, instead of the side to side, we're going to go front to back. Now with front to back, and again, I'll do it on the chair. With front to back, we're going to start with our left foot back. You can have your, I'll turn a bit to the side. You can have your right foot just a little bit forward. You can have it a lot forward. Okay, so your comfort level, really, again, we're not challenging ourselves physically so much with this routine. We're in letting the nervous system enjoy movement. So forward a bit, and also if you can go wider, that's going to give you a little bit more stance, a little more comfort. So what this looks like is we're going to go down, bend down, the arms go up, and we exhale. We go back to our left foot. This is a bit of a trickier one. So we're going down on our left foot, right? But I can go down on both, or I can shift a bit more to the left. So down on that foot, shift your weight forward, stand up on the right, and then back down on the left. This is one I usually have to give a bit more instruction on, right? So you can see I'm sort of shifting down more on my left than my right, shift more of my weight to my right than my left, and stand up. Is that good? Got that one? Okay. All right, and I will do it here. And in sitting, I am going to have 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Okay. All right. So let's see your feet position. That looks good. That feels good for you. Yeah. Okay. Remember, when we're bending, we want to have that bum stick out a bit. We don't want to tuck it under. We don't want to stick it out too much. Okay. If you are going overhead, remember, scapula is down. This is a busy, busy move. If you want to go back to that first one, all good. Okay. Ready? Okay. So we breathe out. We're to start breathing up, but we are breathing in. Okay, now I'm not going to go overhead this time. So if you don't want to go overhead, you can follow me this way. Breathe out. Good. And down. If you want to shift in the chair, that's good too. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. And let's shift the legs. Feel comfortable in your stance. So we're going to have the left foot forward. Good. Bring your right foot a little bit back. A little more. Okay, good. Just so we can see the difference. Good. Okay. So again, we're going to go down this time on our right side, and then we're going to stand up on the left, and then down on the right again. Okay. Good. All right. Let's do this one. Breathing in. Those muscles are nice and rested. Breathe out. Breathe in. Okay, and I'm not going to go overhead if you want to modify with me.
I love the breathing out when I bring my arms down. To me, it feels right. If it doesn't feel right for you, that is totally okay. Good one. All right. Do you want to do some in the sitting position?
No, sure.
Like she's going to say no.
No, Mom. This is a really, really, really nice one. So we're going to do a little bit of movement. Again, this is when you want to pay attention to your tripod, right? So notice the over there. What we're going to do is we're going to step forward and push forward. We're not going to actually step forward, sorry. We do take one step forward, but then we just kind of come back. So we're just shifting back and forth like this, okay? And so Jasmine in her chair, she's got one foot in front of the other, excellent work, and she's leaning forward with her body. Your lean can be whatever it wants, or there is no lean, that is totally okay. Again, elbows down below the shoulders are much, much, much easier for your shoulders, neck, and head, okay? So that was just a demo. Again, if your feet are a little bit wider, that's going to be a little bit easier. If you step out a little wider, also easier. You can challenge yourself if you want to step forward, okay? You can, if you want, when you step forward, lift your heel, if you move that far forward, okay? What I don't want is when you step forward, you do this kind of leaning thing, right? Because that's going to be really hard in the back. We want the posture to stay nice and tall. We're going to step forward and then step back, okay? Let's try that one. Ready? Breathing in. Right, and this is where you do some fun stuff with your hands if you want to. Breathing out. Again, breathing out and pushing feels right for me. If it doesn't feel right for you, you can absolutely change the breathing. All right, last one. And then we're going to switch feet. Okay, so bring that back. Get your balance. All right, let's step the other foot forward, breathing in. Rest those shoulders down. Rest all the muscles you can. Am I speeding up? Sometimes when I'm doing this and I'm teaching, I go a little fast because I'm thinking and I'm not enjoying this so much. So do that. Same bottom movement, different movement with the arms. You can keep those first arms if you want. This time we're going to step forward and the arms are going to be wide. Again, drop those scapulas down. It's going to look like this, forward and then back. Great. Okay, so breathing in, forward and back. Good. Forward and back. Good. Again, if that's hard on the arms, we can do underneath if you want. That can be a little bit easier, or they can just be at your sides. Okay, let's switch feet. Again, get your balance. Okay, put that foot forward and let's exhale and inhale. So nice, so nice. Can you just see yourself in the park on the grass, doing this with all those masters that I don't know, I don't think I'm there yet. It just feels, so I often feel myself, imagine myself by the beach on the grass, and it feels so nice, and to feel these movements and to have that thought. Great. Now from that nice, pleasant, calm thought, we're going to go to a punching move. So this time we're going to have our feet a little bit further wide, maybe a little bit further wide than the shoulders. There's a little bit of a bend. Again, make sure that bum isn't tucked under. Make sure we're bending just down. We're not sticking it out. We're just making sure we bend here at the hips. Okay. Here, so you've got the arms here, and we're going to just reach out, and stand tall. Reach out. You can bend if you want, but you don't have to. Okay.
So let's try that. Breathing in. Well, the way I was taught, you'd sort of turn your wrist and do some stuff, and that's kind of fun to do. Don't worry about it. Just get the arm out. Keep it low if you want. You don't have to go so high. You can definitely go a little bit lower if you want. That's totally fine. Good. Enjoy. Very low effort for this. All right. This one we're going to do is keeping your feet in the same position. We're going to raise our arms far overhead and then down, almost like birds flapping, right? So maybe I'll get Jasmine to do the ones overhead and I'll just go up to the shoulders, because that, again, we want to really, if you have shoulder, neck, head pain, we don't want to force this. We want this to be gentle. We want this to be easy and so enjoyable. Okay, so no pushing forward in this one. Ready? Breathing in and out. I forgot. I have to go breathe slower because you're going all the way up. Breathing in and out. Breathing in. You can do a bit of a knee bend if you want. So again, you can stand and have your arms all the way overhead. You can sit and have your arms all the way overhead. Well, let's do one more. Good. Oh, very nice. This one is the balance one. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift the same arm and the same leg. And it looks a little bit like this. Okay, we want to shift our weight to one side, right? I'm going to lift this arm and this leg. But that's what it should look like. That's not what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to shift our weight, certainly with this leg. We're going to, if you can see, we're going to lift, or we're going to keep our toe down or our heel down, or we're just going to barely lift the heel. Okay? Shift the other side, same kind of thing. Same arm and same leg. Okay? If you're in the chair and you feel like you can lift your leg or want to, then that's totally fine. If you're standing, you can feel you can lift it, that's great. But what I don't want is you lifting it and dropping it down. Okay? We want really controlled up and really controlled down. Okay, this again isn't about, it does challenge your balance for sure, but it's not about achieving what this should look like. It's listening to your body and doing a nice, safe, gentle moving. Okay, we'll try this one. Breathing in. Breathing out. Yeah, I'll get you to lift your leg. Good. Remember the shift, right? Breathing in. Feels a bit weird, but it is quite nice. And here's coming the most challenging cognitively part, is we're going to switch opposite arm, opposite leg. So switch here, opposite arm, opposite leg. Good. For some reason, when we do same arm, same leg, switching can be a little difficult. All right. Good. I'm going to go back to just lifting my heel. I just wanted to make sure you could recognize the difference. Good. Great. Okay. Now we're going to do one big breath. If you want to go overhead, you go overhead with the breathing with your arms all the way up to the top. Now we're going to breathe out. Okay. Stand or sit in a comfortable position. Take a few breaths. The exhale longer than the inhale. And do another scan through your body. See how your muscles feel. You could do another passive muscle relaxation where you pay attention to a muscle and rest it. Just notice how your muscles are doing. Notice how your body is feeling. Notice how even your breathing is. Notice your thoughts. Notice how you feel. Good. So that's the end of those movements. I really hope you've enjoyed them. I do know this will be on YouTube. What I might say though is that for your nervous system to really incorporate this well, I wouldn't do this routine again tomorrow. And I probably wouldn't even do it the next day, right? Sometimes it can take 2 days for our body to figure out if something was okay or not, our nervous system to think about that. And sometimes it's a bit of work on the muscles, and the muscles need to wind down from that. So I would try it maybe 2, maybe 3 days from now, I would try it again. And again, when you come to this, think of it as a moving meditation. Think of it as something that's very restful for your body, very soothing for your nervous system. Think of it as a moment for you and a time for fun. I want to thank my voluntold, Jasmine. I really want to thank Pain BC. They do amazing work for people on pain. And I'll pass it back to, I'm not sure, to Jen.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Thanks, Jasmine. That was a terrific session, so informative and you know, very relaxing. And I just loved how you kept talking about fun, because sometimes we really lose sight of that.
Well, and I think I love moving. I've moved my whole life, and I've always thought it was fun. Not every training exercise, maybe. But you know, fun and fear don't go well together. And if we can come and approach this with fun, like I said, I taught it to my son when he was about 9, and it was our ninja warm-up. And that was just fun. It was just fun. So yeah. Good.
Awesome. I had a question for you. Just you were just talking about, you know, and you're right. Like we've recorded this, and this is going to be available on our YouTube channel, and then also in our Facebook videos. And you suggested that people shouldn't do it again tomorrow, but they can go back to the recording in a couple of days, just depending on how they're feeling. Right. Are you saying that that's this workout in particular, or that they should also not do any other kind of gentle movement?
From my experience, thank you so much, Jen. Great question. And anyone else who has questions, if that's possible, I'm happy to answer them. Yes, really good question. From the perspective of the nervous system, when we try something new, it takes a little bit to incorporate that. And what I've found with some people, they'll do this, they love it, they'll go back at home that night, they'll do it that night or the next day, and the nervous system all of a sudden, instead of this relaxing, gentle thing, says, whoa, we're overdoing it again. And again, most of the people that I've worked with in chronic pain, I love this population because they tend to be high achievers, but that means they push physically, cognitively, emotionally, I mentioned that, to try and get stuff done. And they also care for other people. And that makes our nervous system a bit protective. So when we start something new, it could be, you know, adding a new chore. It could be doing dishes, or it could be adding, you know, anything to our life. Even parking your car farther away and walking into work or whatnot. We just want to be really careful that we do it once, we do it with fun, we enjoy it, we're relaxed about it, we're not pushing ourselves, and the nervous system will say, huh, that's okay, I can do that again. But if we're it's kind of like, you know, we hear this about medications. Go start low and go slow. It's the same thing for me with movement with the nervous system. If you're a bit fearful of moving, start really low, go slow, and you will find success. Most of us try too hard. And it's not a matter of trying harder. It's a matter of trying differently with the nervous system and being gentle with your nervous system and gentle with yourself. Most people in chronic pain can do fantastic physical things, but then they crash or they suffer or they pay for it later. And the nervous system, the next time they go to do it, will go, whoa, I've been there. I know what we're doing. We're going to do too much. So, yeah.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. We do have a question. One of the participants is just wondering if you could just break down one of the moves that was a bit complex. So I don't know. I'm going to try to. It was the one before Jasmine sat down. I don't know if that gives you a clue.
We did have that plan.
I mean, maybe you can.
I can guess. Was it
you? Sue will guess, and then Ellie, you can let me know if she's got the right one.
And if we can't guess, I'll just do some Scottish dancing because I don't know how to do that, and that'll be funny, and you'll get your good endorphins from that.
Really?
Is it the one where we go down on the one leg and it goes down and then we go forward and up? Was it that one? That's a tricky one.
That sounds complex.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Is she responding back? I'll just
no.
do a little bit of that. So that one, ideally what it looks like, the whole movement, what it should look like, and I probably shouldn't have this on, that wasn't helpful, is that you go down, this is what it's supposed to look like when I've modified it. You go down on one leg and you go forward and you stand up. So this, maybe if it's helpful to know, this is what the move, I'm going down on the left leg, almost all my weight is on this leg. Don't do it this way, just showing. And down, and we shift our weight forward and we stand up. Now this is quite a nice movement on a couple areas of the body, so it's why I like it. Well, how I've modified it is we just go down this leg, we stand and we stand up. So this is, and then we transfer our weight back, bend, forward and up.
So most of your weight is on one leg.
So, and why I love this one and why I included it in this set is because stairs can be difficult when people aren't able to move as much as they'd like to. Reincorporating stairs is hard. So this is like going down a stair. So if I'm going to go down a stair, I would bend this leg and I would start to go down, right? If I'm going up a stair, I start from this level and I stand up. So that's why I've incorporated, because we're sort of working on that little bit, right? Also helps getting up and down chairs, doing that little bit. So it's really, this is a faster, which sometimes helps a bit, right? So we're just shifting back, forward from this angle, shifting down, forward. And again, you can have your feet much closer, you can have them farther, whatever your body kind of will let you do. I'm having a little bit further so you can actually see them move a little bit better. Jazz hasn't done this for years. Was that the most difficult one, do you think, or which one other might it be?
Well, I think that was the one before I sat down.
Okay.
That's difficult. Yeah. It's almost like you can visualize, if you can almost visualize the move that you make in order to climb up a stair.
Right.
That's sort of the move that you're doing.
Right. And it's so good for that. It does in a really gentle, safe way, does build up those same muscle movements. And so when you go to do stairs, your muscles go, oh, we've done this, we're good. And the muscles won't send as many sort of danger messages to the brain that something dangerous is happening. So it's a really nice way to gently get that motion in without having to do that movement, the full movement up and down stairs.
Well, as usual, I learned so much. Thank you so much. This was a really fun.
Sorry, what's that?
Yeah. Oh, this was a really fun class. So thank you. We're getting lots of nice comments from people. So.
Oh, good. I hope people liked it. And yeah, just have fun. Have fun with all movement.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, thanks, Sue. Have a great day, and thanks to everyone who joined us. And we really hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. So hope to see you shortly at our next class. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for having fun with us.